Welcome back, Hive Mind. This is Shalazar with Hive Mind Gaming with another Raid Shadow Legends beginners and free-to-play guide. This is episode 11. We're going to take a look at our campaign missions. Alright, so I went through and I figured out I was doing this wrong when last we left. I was actually doing it on hard, so it wasn't giving me credit, so I had to go back to the normal stage and do it on hard. So don't make that mistake. Alright, so let's collect our 25,000 silver. Alright, when I went ahead and prepped a couple of artifacts here for us, so they should be easy to cap out here. And as you can tell, I've already enchanted some glyphs into these guys. I'll show you that in just a second, as soon as this is done. Alright. So basically these are all the glyphs that I don't have many left. So these are the glyphs that I have, and so basically as I get them, I put them on the gear that I think I'm going to have for a little bit. Anything level 4 or higher, 4-star or higher, I'm keeping for a little bit here. Alright, so we got that one. Let's go ahead and collect our energy and our silver. Alright, the next one we got for free, which was clear stage 7 of the palace on normal. And we got us a nice little blue shard there. Alright, clear stage 2 or higher of the Minotaur's Labyrinth 3 times. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do a guide real fast on him. Alright, so the Minotaur, well, he's got a pretty face. Okay, so basically it tells you right here what you could possibly get out of it. Let's take a look actually at the mastery so you can see. So here's Kel with his masteries. And so you have the 3, which in one of my other videos I explained real fast how masteries work. So up here you can see though the 3 different types. So you've got the basic masteries. So right here, this one here was only 5. And then this one is 30 to unlock. So everything in this tier up here is 5 of these. And everything in this tier is 30 of these. Once you have 1, 2 of these done, and then you'll have 3 out of this row, then you go into the next row, and that's going to take these. Okay? These next 2 rows are going to take these. And then the last 2 rows are going to take these. Alright? So that's basically how that works. So when we go into the Minotaur's Labyrinth, it shows us what we have the possibilities of getting. So we've got the basic and then the secondary one that are advanced. And then it's not until stage 12 or stage 11 that you have the opportunity to get the divine scrolls. And of course, as you go up in level, it gives you how much you can possibly get. Anywhere from 24 to 32, 11 to 16, 6 to 12. So if you're actually starting to level up guys that you care about, getting the Minotaur up as high as you can, as fast as you can, is important, because that means that you're getting more bang for your buck when it comes to how many you could possibly get. And then of course you still get the silver as well. So let's jump in. Alright, so out of all the guys that I have, these 4 are the only ones that I figure I'm going to take all the way to 60 out of all the ones that I have. Maybe this guy, but I don't really care right at this moment. So what's going to happen is when I run this, it's going to be random who gets these, who gets the reward at the end. Now, if I'm running this one, because this is the highest I can go, once someone has been maxed out on their, which is 100 of these, because 30, 30, 30, and then 5 and 5. So once you get 100, collect 100 of these on one character, he can no longer get these. So that means if I'm running, whoops, that was the wrong button. So that means if I'm running this, let's say I'm running this one, and Kale's already got 100 of the basic ones, and it becomes Kale who is the one that's getting the scrolls, then his will automatically be the advanced scrolls. So he will get these instead of these. All right, where everyone else, if it's their turn, they get, and I say turn, if it's them that pops up randomly, then they'll get the basic ones. All right, so it is random, and it is based on what that character is at. Now, if there's a situation, which is what I do, or well, it's what most people do, once you get 4 guys that can run stage 15 fully masteried out, like they have all the masteries that they can have, then that's when you put them in your roster as the person running your show, and then anyone else that you want to put masteries on, you just put them in the 5th slot, and all the scrolls will go to them because it can't go to anyone else. Okay? All right, so that's basically the concept of the Minotaur. Just like most dungeons, there are the waves, so you just got to get through the waves. And as you go up in level, the waves do get harder, just like all the dungeons. And then once you get to the Minotaur, he does have 2 goons that don't like you. Alright, so we're going to slow it down here. Alright, so the first thing that happens is he's got the almighty immunity level 1, which is the immune to stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, block cooldown skills, fear, and true fear debuffs. Also immune to HP exchange effects, HP balancing effects, and cooldown increasing effects. His next passive is Raging Bull. He starts the battle with a rage buff for 3 turns. While active, the rage buff increases the damage the Minotaur deals by 400%. That's this little dude right here. Alright, once the rage buff expires, the Minotaur will become dazed and will receive a dazed debuff for 1 turn. While active, the dazed debuff increases the damage the Minotaur receives by 200%. So even when he's not raging, he's still doing extra damage. And then once the dazed debuff expires, the Minotaur will once again receive a rage buff for 3 turns, starting the cycle over. These buffs and debuffs cannot be blocked or removed by skills that remove debuffs. Alright. And then he's got an A2 that does attacks all enemies, places a hex debuff for 5 turns on 3 random targets. These debuffs cannot be resisted. And then this one is attacks all enemies, deals double damage to enemies with hex debuffs. Alright. Alright, so let's go ahead and attack him. So his goons just attack. They don't have any special abilities like most of the dungeon goons have. So she's great because she affects their turn meter. And then, of course, increasing our turn meter. But it's hard to deal with Kale. All the poisons are stacking up. So, yeah, that took a big chunk of his life away. And that's it. Alright. So, now it shows you that we got silver. The characters that don't have or that aren't max level will gain XP. Not a lot, but they will gain XP. And then, of course, she got the scrolls this time. So now what this number is she got 9, and now she has a total of 15 of these scrolls. So the first number is how many she got for this run, and then the end is the total that she has. All right. So who do we look for to build a team for this that can run it regularly? One, you only want to run people who you know are going that you want to eventually 6-star, and the reason is because they're going to gain the scrolls. It's random who gains the scrolls, so you don't want a random like shaman. Shaman's horrible. She's great at beginning game. She's horrible at once you get to mid game and higher. Absolutely, absolutely a horrible character. So you don't want her to come in here and feed off of your guys and steal scrolls from your guys. So you don't want to run her in this composition. So what you want your damage dealer, you want your buffer, which is going to be Diabolus, because she gives you guys some great buffs. You want a debuffer who's going to debuff the bad guys, like War Maiden. And then you're going to want, again, something I don't have yet. You're going to want someone who can help take damage off of the rest of your team. So your guys that buff, debuff, and deal damage don't take as much damage. So someone who can play shield, someone who can ally protect, things like that. So that's who you're gonna want as your 4, and then the final spot you'll want some kind of healer or reser, something like that. Your buffer you want to be able to increase your speed as well. So, which is why we have Diabolus in there. All right. Well, other than that, that's going to be. And if you notice, if you've listened to any of my other keeps, videos on the keeps or video on the dragon, any of those things, then you've already seen or heard the same composition. You're going to want that same composition for almost every single thing out there. There's going to be some slight differences. There's going to be differences with the Fire Knight, the Ice Golem, and the Spider, and that's because of their strategy on beating them. Where with Minotaurs, Labyrinth, and Dragon, and all the keeps, they're fairly simple strategies to beating them. So it's easy to still build your team around that same concept. You just got to work it to where it has that composition to be able to still beat that strategy. So, but other than that, guys, if you have any questions or is there anything else you'd like to hear or see, let me know in the comments. But as always, I appreciate all of you guys. We'll see you next time.